with a single boom roasted line. So any ideas? Maybe you want to mention Malice, but any ideas come to mind when you look at me?
Man, you know what? If I was gonna boom roast someone, I would want to kind of like research their career and dissect them and figure out their biggest negatives.
Get to the core.
And I didn't have that notion with you. I figured, I got a general sense of, okay, he's really successful. He's super sharp. He's really interested in some really interesting things. I bet we'll have a great conversation. But I had no intention to roast you.
Yeah, there you go. What about Malice? You had dinner with him last night.
For him. Oh man.
How'd you get to know him, by the way?
Twitter.
Just Twitter.
Twitter's the most magical place in the world, right? I always tell people it's the greatest source of information if you know how to use it.
He's insane on Twitter, actually.
So I had to unfollow him on Twitter because it
was too intense.
It's too much. It's just too much. No, it's too much. It fills up. Like, I want to be able to consume the content. So if I want to see something he says, I can go to his page, right? Yeah. But it's just too much for my timeline. I want to be able to consume who I follow. So I try to not follow a lot of people because I want to be able to consume them. Mm-hmm. And he was too much. He fights the trolls, which I don't know why we would ever fight the trolls. There's just too many of them.
Well, he's a troll himself. He's like the big troll fighting the little trolls. He's the king troll.
There's a million of them. So even if you kill 100,000, there's still 900,000 left.
Yeah, they just keep calling.
You just got to ignore them.
It's the Night Walker or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take it because you had nothing. You couldn't roast GSP out of respect too. Yes. So I'm just gonna take that as a sign of respect.
What do you say bad about GSP? Now I try to roast his hair. Like, why is he trying to grow hair now after all these years? Yeah. He looked good bald. Everyone loved him with his head shaved.
Yeah.
Now it looks kind of strange. It's like, why you got hair now?
Well, it was one of the more surreal moments of my life. So he was here and he wore a black suit and tie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did the podcast with him, just mirror image of me. And then we also did, I haven't released it yet, but just a video together and us doing martial arts stuff in a suit and tie. That's quite, that's like certain moments in your life are just like, I can't believe I was part of that.
Yeah, with GSP, so yeah, I don't think I have anything to roast him about. I mean, maybe the Matt Serra thing would be the one that you could get him with, But
yeah,
I would be really fascinated to like really dig deep from a sports psychology standpoint because he always talks about how much fear he had when he was competing, and I find that to be interesting because obviously, so it's almost like, to me, it's almost like, was he successful despite that, not because of that, right? And because anxiety usually leads to really negative performance for the majority of people. And what was it about him that the anxiety wasn't super negative? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very interesting.
I wonder that too. So I wonder that about him, but I have a huge amount of anxiety interacting, especially with people, just about everything. Yeah. I wonder if that's helpful or not. It feels like it's very helpful.
Well, I think so. I think in two different things. So I think probably your everyday life, is different than like in a performance or a competition. You have to be like super in the moment of what you're doing. So anything that's pulling you away, like, oh my gosh, for high school kids, right? That coach, oh my gosh, that girl's in the stands, and if I get beat, then. And they're actively thinking about this other thing when this is going on, and I need 100% of your focus here.
He's never. I don't think he has anxiety in the ring. That's the point. I think like I have the same thing. Like if I have a really high performance thing that I have to do, I don't know, a lecture in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, that'd be a great example.
That there's huge amount of anxiety, weeks ahead, days ahead, hours ahead.
So you have a system to get rid of it then. As you perform.
Maybe, but it's just the body gets rid of it somehow. Yeah, there's not a system.
Subconscious system.
So, yeah, it's
so you don't actually have anxiety while you're performing. So that's like, so then that problem has solved itself, right? The problem is when the anxiety is actually happening while the wrestling match is happening. That's the real issue.
Yeah, but it like sneaks in there too. That's the difference between MMA and wrestling is. There's no breaks in wrestling, right?
Yes.
I guess there is. You can look at the crowd a little bit. Like you can look, so maybe.
Out of bounds, maybe.
But like there's other things we have to perform. Well, there's more breaks. Like a lecture, you can catch yourself thinking. Like in this conversation,
Yeah.
Like I've said a bunch of stuff where I think, why the hell did you say that? That's dumb, right? That's the anxiety because there's a pause, and that could be. I don't know. I think it just pushes me to be better, but maybe I could be way better if I let go of that.
Yeah.
It's scary to think that GSP if you let go of that.
That's
But
could he have been better?
Yeah.
Or did he have did he have a, like you're saying, like you don't necessarily feel those. So I think certain people that I've coached, like they would describe how they would feel literally during the wrestling match, right? And you're saying like during the speech performance, it's mostly gone.
Yep.
And it'd be interesting to see if like, you know, he talked a lot about that, but if it was all the way somehow gone, and that means he would have a mechanism for it. So like I had a really bad performance my freshman year of high school at nationals because I had the ability to be anxious, and one of my coaches talked about like, and a lot of A-type personalities are kind of that way, you know, because they're trying to consider all possibilities at the same time, and while we're actually performing or competing, it's negative to performance, right? So he said he would always, leading up to the match within say an hour, his thing was talking about fishing. He would get someone to talk about fishing with him because it would stop him thinking about the match and being uber anxious. So I kind of really took that to heart, and it really helped me as I would always like have someone to talk to and just goof around about whatever. So I'm not thinking about this thing. And then once I step in, it's time to go. So I didn't have this like anxious buildup. And that was how for me I took it away. But like me, you know, like you said, you have a way to get it away, obviously, because it's
I guess so. I guess there's little tricks you come up with. Yeah, you start thinking about it's not fishing. Maybe I should try the fishing thing. But
I hate fishing. So boring.
Well, maybe it's good to think about that. All right, Ben. This is like I told you, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of your wrestling, your fighting, your personality. Thank you for coming down. Thank you for talking today.
Appreciate it.
It's a huge honor. Bam. Let's go wrestle.